What is up, everybody? This is weird for you, and it's weird for me too. Alan Bell, neither Jonathan Coachman are in the hosting chair today. It is your boy, the jeweler, and I'm here. Did I maybe screw up some scheduling and forget to send the email out last night telling AB that he was hosting? That's a possibility. But you know what we also did yesterday? We cashed a lot of tickets, baby. Let's take a look at the recap board. Overall, it was an 8-3 day on sort of our straight picks. Martin was all over that Liverpool game, taking Liverpool -1.5 and Liverpool 1-0 over Villarreal. They were who we thought they were. How about Larry? Also had the Bucks -2.5 games, winning that series over the Bulls. That was awesome to cash. Hit a couple of unders in the NBA as well. You know, Coach hates to see that, but Coach also loves to see his Cardinals +113 money line play coming through. So overall, a good day for the brand, but we don't dwell on the bad days. We don't dwell on the good ones. Let's bring everyone in. What's up, everybody? I've got, well, see, this is clearly my first day in the chair like this. I've got Allie O'Neill. Allie, what's up?
Hi, I'm glad you're hosting today.
Oh, thank you. Well, we'll tell the guys that, and maybe we just Wally Pip someone. Who knows? Mike, what's up?
Good morning, jeweler. Good to see everybody here. Definitely love you in the hosting role here today. Just have some fun with it. It's going to be a great show. Let's do it.
It is. It's a big day. We get the NFL draft. We got some NBA action, plenty of baseball. And speaking of the draft, I know Larry's going to touch on that a little later in the storylines. Maestro, how's it going?
Good morning. Great to be with this crew. Great to be here with Allie, who's off to a 10-3 start on the site in baseball. And I'm sure a lot of people have noticed that. And Mike's simulations, which are published the night before on the site. Check it out in that article. We still get questions. Where are they? Well, they're up every single night in the same file. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. Let's get to it.
Heck yeah, let's get to it indeed. Well, you mentioned Mike and you mentioned baseball. So let's start it off right there with our boy M Squared. Give us a little weather report.
Yeah, ton of day baseball today. First place we want to highlight going to be the Yankees game here. We've got winds blowing out around 20 miles per hour. Definitely going to add some carry to the baseball at Yankee Stadium today. In Philadelphia, winds blowing in helps the pitchers just a little bit in that spot. And then Kansas City, Chicago. That's one you really have to watch out for here. Definitely an ugly weather situation, cold, windy. But what you really need to focus on here is we could see a delay or a postponed game in this spot because these teams play each other so many times throughout the year. This one's not terribly difficult to make up. So keep an eye on that if you were thinking about betting that one. I know White Sox are a trendy team to bet at times against opponents like this, but know that you could have some weather interference there today and possibly a postponed game.
That is good to note. Also good to note, Harrisonville says M Squared rubbing his hands together because he's ready to visit the pay window again. Heck yeah, love to see it.
Hey,
Allie,
Mike, I just want to interrupt. Sorry, but Mikey, do you think that the wind in Yankee Stadium, because I've seen other people commenting about it, flying out to right field to the short porch, is that already built into the total?
A little bit. So I played the total. I'll give the play. I played it on SportsLine in my article at 8 last night. It's up to 8.5. It's starting to be baked in just a little bit, but the problem with it is on the Yankees side, the Yankees are facing a left-handed pitcher, so all the platoon advantage is going to be on the right-hand side, so it might knock a ball down or two. But as I get into the bullpen, it'll definitely carry. So it's a little bit baked in, but not all the way.
good to know. So, Allie, speaking of baked in, what do you have about NHL underdogs?
Yep. So since Sunday, underdogs have actually been hitting at a pretty staggering rate. So on Sunday, 7 out of the 11 teams were underdogs that won. Tuesday, 5 out of 13. And then last night, 3 out of 5. So especially kind of getting up on playoffs, a lot of these teams already have their spots secured. They're going to be sitting a lot of their top players, which obviously really affects how well they play. And we saw that with the Rangers last night. But also you have to kind of think about the fact that the books still are favoring like Wild. They were -650 on Tuesday. And then you had the Rangers, and I don't even know what they were up to, -175, I think. But you have a lot of these teams, and the Stars yesterday -500 that are just really, really expensive on the money line, but they're sitting their top players. And over these last few days, it's really just good value with the underdogs.
That is very good to know as we barrel towards the Stanley Cup
playoffs.
playoffs, we are definitely going to see teams start to rest their star players. Speaking of star players, future star players, Larry, what you got on the NFL draft tonight?
Yeah, in no way am I an expert on the par of Emory Hunt or Ryan Wilson or Will Brinson or any of the people that follow it intimately. But there's one guy that I've just been fascinated with, and that is Jordan Davis. And everyone else seems to be increasingly fascinated because his draft position now has slipped under. It's down to 13.5. He was at 14.5 yesterday. He was much higher before. If you don't know him, he's the Georgia defensive tackle, 6'6", 340. I just keep watching his combine tape over and over. You see a guy run a 4.78 40. Kent Lee Platt has a database of 18,000 players who have gone through the combine, and the only player who ever had a higher grade than Jordan Davis was Calvin Johnson. I mean, this guy is a sick athlete. You can still find a 14 out there, which I just played again under 14 because I don't think everyone that I trust believes he is not getting past the Ravens at number 14. There's also a shot he could go 12 to the Vikings, even the Seahawks at number 9. But so now his draft position, though, is 13.5 at most books.
I always love talking about, as Dave Gettleman calls them, the hog mollies, just those big boys in the trenches. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to have picks coming up, but first we're going to take a quick break. And we are back. We're going to come up with some site plays for you. Speaking of the NFL draft, we've got one from our resident draft whisperer, RJ White. The benefits of this job is that I get to hit up RJ on Slack in the mornings and ask him what he likes for the day. He told me he's still digging Garrett Wilson to be the first wide receiver drafted. Seems like this is going to be an ideal pick for the Falcons at number 8 with Calvin Ridley's future in doubt. But he is saying that it could be at this point a better than 50-50 shot for the first receiver taken to be Garrett Wilson. And that is coming from RJ White. You should go read his article. He's got some longer shot plays as well up there, including a little bit of a 6-1 action that I saw this morning. And we're also going to go with the SportsLine simulation model in the NBA tonight. We're going to take the Raptors money line. That is plus 105, taking on the 76ers. That just sort of impending yearly Philadelphia collapse that we all know and love. We got Joel Embiid. His hand is not doing great. We got Matisse Thybulle. He's not a factor at all for reasons that we're not going to get into on this show. But it's an A-graded play on SportsLine, the Raptors money line, cashing in 65% of simulations. All right, here's the part I was honestly dreading the most because I cannot do it, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. M squared, you know the drill, son. Give it to me.
All right, Julia, that was beautiful. We're heading to Yankee Stadium. I mentioned the weather there a little bit. I like the Yankees team total over 4.5 runs. I laid the minus 120 on this one. I want to pick on Bruce Zimmerman as often as I can. Decent start to the year for him in terms of the actual data, not so much when you look at the expected data, which profiles the batted balls that he has allowed. That number is still back up to 333, very much in line with his career numbers of 350 and 360 against left and right-handed hitters in his career. Love the Yankees lineup today. LeMahieu, Donaldson, Judge, and Stanton. Those righties are all going to be in the lineup still. That was all we were really worried about, was one of those guys sitting on this day game after a night game. They're all in there. Look for them to get into the bullpen here. Once they get into the bullpen, some of those lefties like Gallo and Rizzo definitely have an opportunity to hit home runs again today. Very short porch and right with that wind blowing out. But give me the Yankees over 4.5 runs, minus 120.
All right. Let's keep the baseball theme rolling. Allie, hit me up. You got a little play for the Atlanta Braves.
Yes, so I'm going to go with the Braves minus half a run in the first 5 innings at minus 135 today. Kyle Wright, he's been great so far. Both of his starts against the Reds and the Marlins, he pitched 6 innings and didn't allow a run. Then he did start once against the Padres on the road, but he still only allowed 2 earned runs, and then the Braves still picked up a win. Last season, he only made 2 starts, but one of them was against the Cubs. And Wright went 4 innings pitched, only allowing 3 hits and 2 earned runs. But I think the home advantage will serve him well today versus last time he was in Chicago. Drew Smyly, he pitched with the Braves last season, so I think he'll be familiar there. But still the Braves bats have been a little bit hotter than the Cubs have. And I think after yesterday, it's a way better position to have the Braves, especially with them coming off the loss.
And I love it. Allie doing the smart thing that I sometimes forget to do, and that's play a home team on the first 5 run line, because you know they're going to get that extra at bat. Sometimes whenever you do it for the full 9, they're up by 1 and they just don't bat in the bottom of the 9th, and you realize your mistake. Now we do have 2 more picks left, even though it's just Maestro on the screen right now who has not given out a pick. And I know Cash with the Coach has been hot, but Cash with the Coach still does not get the Maestro spot. So, Coach, take it away.
Did you think I was going to let you go alone? Did you think I was going to leave you hanging out to dry? Oh, no. It's time to cash with the Coach. We continue to cash ticket after ticket, day after day. And today, we're going right back to the well. Now, I know my cappers tell you, be careful on Thursdays. It's a getaway day. Players aren't as focused. They may not be hitting as well. I still think we cash the over again. We hit it Monday. We hit it Tuesday. Didn't play it Wednesday, and it cashed Wednesday also. So Rockies, Phillies, over 7.5. And to back me up, SportsLine has us rated as an A play as well. We'll go north of 7.5, and I'll meet you all on PGA Tour Live, but also at the pay window.
All right. I always try to figure out whenever Coach sends those in what he's watching on TV, and it's usually a mystery. All right, we've gotten there. It's the Maestro spot, the final leg, the anchor. Larry, what you got?
All right. Well, all the sharps are against me today. Everybody loves the Reds, who are 3-15, have lost 13 of their last 14, and think that on getaway day they're going to get a win against the Padres. I don't buy it yet. I mean, the Reds have been favored 3 times this season. They've lost all 3. Tyler Mahle not only has a 6.88 ERA for the season, 9.75 during the daytime, pitching at home where he gave up 19 of his 24 homers last season. Somehow he has not given up a homer yet this year and is still getting shelled. I just think the price at -104 on a 12-7 Padres team is too good to pass up. So call me square, but I'm going to back the Padres.
Larry, nobody in the history of time has ever called you square and meant it. Okay. We've arrived at the time of the show where you should grab your pencil. You should grab your paper. Here's the recap. So Maestro, like you just said, is on the Padres money line, -104. Allie with the Braves minus the half run in the first 5. That's -135. They're at home versus the Cubs. That's a later game, 7:20 Eastern. Mike with the Yankees team total over 4.5 at -120. That is an early game. So they're at home versus the Orioles. 1:05 is the first pitch there. Cash with the Coach, you heard him say it. Rockies, Phillies, over 7.5. That game is also early, 1:05 Eastern. And then our site plays RJ White. He's taken Garrett Wilson for the first wide receiver drafted, +100. Shop around for that. He's expecting the Falcons to go with that pick is his philosophy there. And then we're also going to take the Raptors on the money line, +105 versus the 76ers at home, game 6 in the 6. As they say. And speaking of RJ White from earlier, we talked about the Stoic 1 special is our little plus money play for today. So he likes Green Bay to take a DL or an edge rusher with their first pick. That's returning at +450. It's a bit of a contrarian play. He says the wisdom is conventionally that, thinking the Packers are going to take a wide receiver with Devontae Adams out the door. But he says, hey, the top options could be gone by the time their first pick comes at 22. They've got another one shortly after at 26. So he says they might take the receiver at 26 and maybe take the best DL on the board at 22. So that comes back at +450. No Jim today. Your Jim today is that I hosted this show. So you're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to get out of here now. And let's take some tickets to the pay window. See you tomorrow.